Hello, welcome to Wendell's Guide to doing Power Auras. Um, Basically, if you don't know what Power Aura is, it's a visual or auditory cue in game that lets you know something procced or a buff or debuff has been applied to you. Um, you can see every time I get the steady fire buff, um, a little my character is kind of surrounded by a little slight glow. And then every time I get 3 stacks of Ready Set Aim, which allows me to do an instant aim shot like that, I have a little buff that appears over my head, and those are just in-game um, default ones that are set up by Blizzard for the various characters. What Power Auras does, though, is it actually allows you to set up your own Power Auras based on various, pretty much whatever you want. And from there, you can just set it up exactly how you want, whether it's sound, animation, there's a whole bunch of different options. Um, so I'm just going to kind of show you how to do that. First off, you want to download Power Aura Classic from Kirsch or something, install that, and then once you're inside, you do. You can see I've got my own personal Power Auras set up kind of already. Um, I've got these two for the my trinket, my gloves, Murder of Crows, Dire Beast, and Glaive Toss. So I've got a couple other ones set up depending on whatever spec I'm in. So basically, you can see once I am out of combat, they actually disappear too. So you want to type /POWA POWA, which brings up the menu. One thing you'll want to do is you can have like test all, which is something I like to do, and that will basically take all of your power auras you have set up and put them on the screen, depending on how you have them set up. Um, so I've got my misdirection one right there, Men Pet, Explosive Shot whenever I'm survival, Trinkets, Beast of Wrath for whenever I'm BM, Frenzy for whenever I'm BM, Black Arrow whenever I'm survival. I usually kind of put them in the same spot, so like in the case of, because I pretty much use like 5 for procs, whatever. So like over here, I'd end up putting either Frenzy, Black Arrow, or the aim shot proc. Over here, I do Kill Command, Chimera Shot, or Explosive Shot, Trinkets. Those two you have in all the specs. So I mean, I don't really have a whole lot, but so yeah, that's pretty much how I got it set up. But anyways, so what you would want to do is you'd want to first click New, and then you can set it up depending on what the ability is. So like, what is it? If I want to find out how many of these stacks I have, ready, comma, set, comma, aim, dot, dot, dot. What I would do is go ready, comma, set, comma, aim, dot, dot, dot. And you want to do your best to try and set it type exactly how it is. So let's say we get equals 3. You can set it up so that you can sit there and see the stacks. Actually, less than. Basically, you just set it up to do that. So if it's less than or equal to 3 stacks, it'll show up. However, I set it up. There's a whole bunch of different textures you can use. You can see I'm just cycling through them. What I like to do, if you want, Excuse me. But if you want to, you can use these various textures. I mean, there's a ton of them. You can change the color scheme. You can change the fading in, fading out, all that stuff. Um, but yeah, so you can change all that. What I usually like to do though, just because it makes it easier for me visually to know, I can be like, look down here, look up there, it's the same exact icon. So I like to use zone texture. So for this, ready, set, aim, zone texture, it only goes up 3 stacks, so I do less than or equal to 3 stacks. Here you want to do, it's basically how the power aura will get activated. So depending on what exactly it is, in this case it's a buff. So this gets activated by a buff. So you want to go down to buff, which default is buff. Usually you only want to have it in combat, otherwise your screen will get cluttered out of combat, which could ruin screenshots and stuff. um, so usually I just click in combat. There's a bunch of other options you can click, depending on if you want active or not active at certain points. But usually in combat's the only one I really mess with. If you want to, you can set up various animations for it as well. I usually never do. I just use a standard texture. You can also do sound, but I never really do that either because I don't usually play with the sound on. Timer. You can set up the timer, so you can do like show timer, and it'll display a little timer wherever you want. You can change the positioning. I Some of my abilities I'll put a timer. Like you see, I got Menpet here, and I'll have a timer so I can make sure I know when my Menpet's going to wear off. And that's for my whole extreme hunter soloing part, because you gotta know when Menpet's about to fall off, so you can reapply it. And then the other major thing you want to do is you want to try and adjust the size. Usually I like to have it around 20%. And then you just use the X and Y positioning to be like, hey look, this ability is over here. So you just kind of like use the X and Y to position it wherever you want it on screen. Usually you actually have to exit out of Power Aura first, and then when you do slash power again, it'll, or it should appear. Alright, so let's try this. It is apparently not showing. Okay, so that's not working. Slash power. Do 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 do. Listen. Oh, that's why, because I did it greater than or equal to 2. Or, so, 3 greater than or equal to. Huh, I need to redo my math. Alright, so yeah. So you can see now I've got it. It appears on my screen. I can go, yay! And then, unfortunately, the buff itself will disappear when you hit 3 stacks. So, let me see. And if you want to, you can add in like stacks and stuff. So you can do like stacks show. Size, dupe, position, Why? So you can see it. So let's see, it should show. See, it's got a little 100. One stack, two stack, three. Yay. Um, if you want to delete a key binding, or sorry, not key binding, a power aura, blah. Basically, all you do to delete it is you click on whichever one it is, and then you press and hold control down, and while you're holding down control, you click delete. If you don't hold down control, you won't delete it. So I'll go ahead and make one more macro for my Chimera shot. So let's see. Activation. Now, because Chimera shot is not actually a buff, it is a action usable. What I want to do is I want to click action usable, go over here, type Chimera shot, use on texture because I like to use a texture, 20%, test all. Now, because I like to have all my little main actions right here, I will put it directly over the explosive shot. And then I only want it to appear in combat, and I also want to make sure cooldown only. That basically will mean as long as it the cooldown's up, it'll show it. If you don't have that clicked, then if you don't have enough focus or you don't have enough of whatever ability, then or for whatever reason you're unable to actually use it at that time, it won't show up. So if you want to know, hey, this ability is ready, then click cooldown only. But if you're only interested in knowing when you're actually able to use it, as instead of simply when it's ready, off cooldown, then yeah. But yeah, so you do that. Animation, I don't really care about that. Sound, I don't care about that. Timer, I don't care about that. So that should be good to go. X out that. And there it is. Pops up. So I use it, it disappears. It's available again, pops up. So I can use it again, and it disappears. And then I've got these abilities here, so I can use my Dire Beast and stuff. That's actually Trinket, and that's my glove, engineering glove. So I would click on that. Now for the trinkets, I actually do have them as whenever they're usable because, because like whenever you use a trinket, your glove will go off cooldown as well. So if you use your trinket, you can't use your glove for a few seconds. If you use your glove, you can't use your trinket for a few seconds. So rather than trying to spam that ability, I just wait for it to actually, hey, you can use it now. But as far as focus abilities, I want to be able to know, hey, it is usable. Save up some focus. So, I got murder crows over here. And normally I'm using like macros and stuff to press all these abilities, but I'm just manually clicking so you can see. Whee. So you can see that the trinket is, even though I haven't used the trinket, I gotta wait a few seconds after I use my gloves before it pops back up again. And now I can use it again. So that is pretty much how you use Power Auras Classics. Whoa. There's a lot of various abilities you can use with it. There's a lot of cool features and everything, but that's basically it. The main ones I have, like again, you can use Test All. Which will press when you press it, it'll show all of your macro abilities. And I use that to kind of like line them all up once I make a new macro. I actually I had a couple of these made, but I made several more last night, and I was like, oh wait, I should probably make a video on this. So you can see I got Misdirection and Men Pet for whenever I'm doing my Extreme Hunter soloing, so those will pop up. Usually I'll have my I got my focus thing right there, so I can like keep track of my focus and Men Pet. And I got that for looking at my target and misdirect and all that. So I had a few of them down here, but I was kind of like, well, I ended up looking up here more than I looked down here, so I was like, I'll put these up here, and hopefully that'll help out in my raid thing. And the cool thing about having all these abilities on your screen is it's annoying to look at them, so in order to make them go away, you have to use them, which means you're going to make sure you're pretty much using all of your abilities on cooldown so that they'll get off your screen, which should help maximize your DPS. So, hope this guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.